Hey guys, and welcome to yet another Cast of Salt with you today. I am your wonderful host, Benjamin. Way to the other side, we have Ben.
What up, G?
Followed by Ryan.
Yo.
And then the Roseman.
Hello.
How you guys all doing?
Pretty good.
I haven't
Okay.
killed anyone yet.
Pretty good.
Good start.
We have
Very good
tea
start.
today
Yeah.
Tea.
for all the viewers who
Matching
can see us
mugs.
with matching mugs.
Look at us go.
I feel like one of those sportscasters. You know how they always have like the empty cups of tea, except ours are full
A cast of
because
tea.
we're legit.
Because we're just doing it live.
We love our tea.
Well, if you
Anyway.
can call it tea, because most of ours have no caffeine in it. So it's more
Get out
like-
of here with your...
Anyway,
flavored
for those of you
water.
watching on YouTube, listening/watching on YouTube, thank you very much. Check out some of our other content, the game videos that we've done, some of our other podcasts, and just all the general mumbo jumbo that we do on this channel. If you're listening on SoundCloud and or iTunes, please leave a review. Let us know what you think.
If you're watching on SoundCloud, please tell us how you did that. Because I want to know.
That is very impressive stuff.
Yeah.
And last but not least, jump onto Discord. Jump into our little community channel there. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your feels. If you just want to talk shit with us, by all means.
We
jump
have a
in
shit posting channel for
and
all
talk
your
shit
meme
with
goodness.
us.
Come tell CK how wrong he is about Sonic games.
And Scientology. Wait, did that happen in that channel?
No, that was
Yeah, it was somewhere.
I hope it was the shit posting.
I'm sure it was the shit posting channel.
Anywho, let's get into the swing of things. We'll start off with Ben. I'm liking your fro. It is
Thank you.
going wild.
It's godly.
So I've been going through the phases of hair anxiety, so I figured I should grow it as much as I can before I lose it again. So we'll see how long that lasts. But in terms of adventures I've been on lately, very recently, something I've been waiting 4 years for has finally become available.
You lost your virginity?
Yes. No.
How did I
Wait.
know? I was sort of like,
And why
don't
was
say
it. Why was it a 4-year thing? Like, when did the timer start?
It was a very
He was
long...
going to be a priest up until 4 years ago.
It was a very long payoff. Let's just say that the color was blue. Anyway, so 4 years of searching, finally, I was able to order Wu-Tang Clan controllers for the PlayStation 1. Yeah.
I legitimately remember you
Oh
at
my
least
God.
2 years ago talking about that.
Yeah,
so-
I've waited
well
so
done.
long. No, the greatest story about this, though, is I woke up in the morning and my Google alert I've set to find these things for me pinged. And I'm like, yes. Then I messaged my friend at work and he's like, yes, I saw the alert too.
I know.
Okay.
Can
so-
we agree
so-
not to go into a bidding war against each other?
Yeah, I was
I'm
about-
already tracking it down.
Yeah, I was about to say, just so that we're on the same page, have you actually won that auction, or are
It
you
wasn't
about to
e-
get into a bidding war?
It wasn't even an auction. It
Okay.
was 8 of them showed up in a random UK secondhand site.
Oh.
Right.
And I was like, 8? That's an odd number. I'll take 3.
Why 3?
I'll
One-
take them all.
2 for me, 1
Okay,
for him.
Okay.
So following on that, I made a very drunk and possibly regrettable decision on Friday. I am now I brought a clear blue Nintendo 64 with RGB outputs.
Ooh.
So finally, we'll be able to play some N64 content on the channel.
Sounds
It's
good.
going to be great. It also came bundled with like a $100 controller. And I was
So
like,
is that the Gen 1 type RGB or the Gen 2 type RGB?
the Gen 2.
Ooh,
So
even
it's the nice.
Yeah.
I was like,
I didn't think... I thought the clear blue N64s came way later in the production.
yeah, which is why it would
Yeah.
have to have been a Gen 2, I suppose.
so Nintendo 64s don't have RGB outputs.
Oh, so this has been modded.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Wait.
why I was asking, like, because
What outputs do they normally
okay,
have?
analog. So like
Yeah.
you're
The-
yellow.
Yes.
Just yellow, not even S video.
Yeah.
And finally, like, I've been on many numerous adventures,
Adventures in hardware. with
in the
Ben.
past 2 weeks, but the most important adventure was I got pre-screening tickets to Deadpool 2.
Ooh.
So, if you haven't watched Deadpool 2, watch it. It's great.
Yeah.
No
I was just gonna say,
spoils.
what's your verdict?
That's as much as you can say without spoiling it.
Not as good as the first one, still really good. If you had to choose between Deadpool 2 and Infinity War, watch Deadpool 2.
Oof.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also,
Is that controversial?
To
Is that
some
controversial?
To
I
some
don't know.
people it would be, but I don't think anybody here.
actually
Really
has an
cares-
opinion
really
on
cares
that.
enough.
I suppose it depends on your investment in the MCU versus whether you just want to see a movie.
Yeah,
Right?
like,
That's probably
No, but I love the MCU. But if someone tells me that what's a crappy movie? The Injustice, not
Justice
Injustice,
League.
Justice League is
The
better than.
Injustice League.
Hey,
Is-
if
is-
they made that film based
I
on the
would
Injustice
watch
here,
that.
I'd be there.
If someone told me that Justice League was better than Infinity War, I'd be like,
You're
You're
wrong.
wrong.
whatever.
You are entitled.
You're welcome
to
to
your
think
wrong
whatever
opinion.
you want to think.
And one last dumb DC crack. In writing my Constantine review, which is now finished and I'm working out how to adapt it, I discovered Constantine is in the top 5 best DC movies released in the 2000s. Like,
yeah, we
wait, no, but how many were there that were released?
substantial. There's a lot.
There is a lot.
Catwoman?
Jonah Hex. You don't
I
even
don't even
remember
know who
that.
is.
I loved Jonah Hex. I loved that.
So
movie.
It was a shit movie.
what were
I
the
loved
top?
it.
What were the top 5 we came up with?
Wonder Woman, Batman 1, Batman 2.
Okay, the 3 Batmans.
Yeah.
Oh, Batman 3 was a bit of contention, and I think we put Watchmen in there, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I formulated a list, and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, and I shat on that movie something fierce.
There are quite a few DC movies now that I think about it, yes.
Anyway, definitely not Superman Returns. That's all I'm saying. So Ryan, what's up with you?
Not a whole lot gaming news. I have been playing
Age of
games.
Mythology.
Okay.
No, wait,
have you been
Fallout
playing
4.
Team
Fallout 4?
I
Or
deliberately.
have you been playing TF2?
I
have you been playing-
I deliberately played Age of Mythology twice just so I could come onto this podcast and say, yes, Benjamin, I have been playing Age of Mythology.
That is a level of shit posting that I
But
don't
no.
think we've quite reached yet.
Well, we've reached it now. But no, my main focus has been on personal stuff. I have bought a house, which I've mentioned a few times. So
Correct.
that has sucked up the majority of my time.
He's saying it for the 3rd time. I bought a house. I'm trying to convince myself that it's actually real.
That's the thing. I am trying to convince. I just spent the weekend tearing up carpet, literally.
I said nothing. I just was saying you try to expose some wood there, so.
Anyway, but yeah, so that has been taking up the majority of my time. So not a whole lot gaming wise.
Okay, so you played Age of Mythology.
Yeah.
Did you play Fallout?
Yeah.
Did you play Pokemon Red?
Crash Team
It's
Racing.
like, wait, in the last 2 weeks?
In the last 2 weeks, what year is this? Well, Pokemon Red's on my phone. I haven't really played that much actually. I've been playing the Carcassonne app of all things.
Right.
So I've been playing that.
There
It's
you
been
go.
Fun. Board game, really good. Yeah, you should get it. That's basically my week or
Cool.
2 weeks.
Cool. Lot to do still on the house?
Lot to do still in the house. I am actually going to go see Infinity War sometime this week. Haven't decided when.
Watch Deadpool instead.
Or watch both. I mean, that's an option too.
I watch them in consecutive nights.
And see, I am choosing Infinity War over Deadpool.
Ah, there you
Have
go.
you seen Deadpool?
One, yes, I have seen one.
Okay.
And it was good. And I don't doubt that Deadpool 2 is good. I'm just saying, in terms of priorities and time, I have time to see one movie.
See, Deadpool's even shorter than Infinity War.
Why are you trying to convince him? This is an odd thing.
He feels like because he got pre-screening tickets, he has to now evangelize it.
Well, see, they didn't tell me about the review embargo, so I was very tempted to just write one right there in the cinema.
So is it out?
Yeah, it's out.
Yeah, it's out.
Okay,
now.
cool.
It's
So you
out.
can officially talk.
Oh,
about
yeah.
it.
No, but it on the earlier in
like
the week
the
that
day
you would have
before
seen
it came out.
Yeah, there would have been a
But there was already reviews out by then, so I was like,
cool. Rosman.
Yeah. I've basically been sticking to my
Your big 3.
my big 3. But I'll
Big
tell you,
4.
Yeah, but I'll tell you
4?
what. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. A couple of friends of mine have unfortunately got me dragged back into League of Legends.
He's relapsed. He's relapsed.
That's right.
Yeah.
Intervention time.
It's like
Yeah.
Ros.
So
we need to talk.
Yeah, so Bernie and Luke, if you're watching this is all your fault.
You should see our Discord thread between each other when I found out. I was like, don't go back to her, Carl.
She'll only hurt you again. Carl, she'll only hurt you again.
It's not serious this time, I swear. It's just a casual.
See,
It's not casual, is it?
I mean,
Is
well,
it?
It's
Tell us.
It's trying to be. It's trying desperately. So I don't know. I don't know how I actually feel about that game. I mean, it's fun, I guess.
It is fun.
Like playing with the bits and pieces.
The player base has somehow gotten worse.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I think since I've been back, I've played like somewhere between 10 and 20 games, and I think one of them hasn't had a bunch of people that I'd like to punch in the face in it. So yeah.
Wait, so you spectated one game is what I'm hearing.
Aha. No, am I exaggerating? I might be exaggerating, but if I am, not by much.
Maybe, Carl. Maybe it's that your tolerance has been lowered now. So what you used to deem acceptable community behavior is now unacceptable.
It's
Maybe.
It's like a drug. Like when you stay away from a drug long enough, your body starts to lose that tolerance that's built up over a
So
while.
you've lost the League of Legends tolerance of the toxic.
You know,
Yeah, I was going to say toxic.
you never played games with me, so I'm pretty sure I never had much tolerance for it.
I have played games with you.
Oh, yeah, you didn't have much, but now you have even less.
I've played Team Fortress with you.
Yeah, so you know how
For
salty.
years.
Yeah, so
Did
you
he
know how
get-
salty I get.
How about bot mad? Did he get into TF2? Be honest.
Yeah, he'd rage quit after like 2 games.
Cool.
If we lost both games, it's like, it's TF2. It doesn't matter if you lose. Did you taunt kill someone? Yes. Then you had a good time.
Except
Then
you did
everybody
that.
wins.
So much fun.
Except you did that.
Everybody wins.
Did you taunt kill Carl, and
I
that's
didn't
why
taunt-
he
I didn't
quit?
That's why he rage quit.
Actually, that was before the
would've-
days of locked community teams, so we probably would have been against each other a few times. Auto balance,
maybe.
and all that.
I think
I don't
even
know.
when I was
I,
playing was prior to days of locked
but,
community teams.
No, if that had happened, I would have given you a fucking medal. and
No.
then rage quit.
you didn't play sniper too often. I pretty much only taunt killed snipers because they're the only ones that really stand still.
Yeah.
Them and
Yeah, that's true.
them and noob engineers, and they're usually behind their buildings. So, you know,
Fair enough.
old stab and sap.
Real men taunt
Stab.
kill scouts.
Cool.
Engineers who lose track of which game they're playing, think they're playing Minecraft or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, and so that and Hearthstone is Hearthstone. The game, big set of nerfs are arriving tomorrow. Is
I
it?
like
Day
how you looked
after
at your
tomorrow.
imaginary watch.
Yeah, so tomorrow US, so 23rd.
Yeah. Okay. So
23rd.
hopefully that will revive my interest in the game a little bit.
I hope you're ready for even Shaman, baby.
Yeah.
How many legendaries do you want to craft?
Not that many, but if that's what it takes.
For reference, it's one of the theorized top 3 decks at the moment, and it has about 4 more ultra rare cards than normal. So
Than normal.
yeah, it's hey, I have all of them, and Carl's just like me.
Carl,
Is this
Carl-
more to the point of trying to get people to buy more decks in order to get more ultra rares?
Hearthstone is a pay-to-play game. Don't let anyone tell you it's free to play.
It's a CCG. It is a
Pay to win game.
CCG.
I have a question for you, Carl.
Tell me.
How often do you air quote? Because you just air quoted and your fingers clicked. I was just like,
Click, click.
I feel like there's more questions that need to be asked here, but instead, hey Ben, how's your Fortnite been?
it was just. Oh, I was just like, wait, did that just happen?
I would never have noticed. Thanks for putting that out there to the public. That's great.
Anyway, my Fortnite has been pretty chill.
Your Fortnite?
Get out.
Oh.
Get out.
How was
Speaking of,
There we go.
No,
That
wait.
was a great segue.
wait
Come
for
on.
it. I installed Fortnite like 2 weeks ago. Didn't touch it for like almost 2 weeks, and then played 5 minutes of it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm good. I don't need this."
so? Are you all excited for Call of Duty
Battle Royale.
Royale mode, Black Ops?
Considering I've
7.
not played a Call of Duty for the last
It's
10
okay.
years.
There's no single player content anymore.
Did you notice the Black Ops 4 emblem show up in the Blizzard launcher?
Yes, I did.
It's happening.
It's
Didn't
happening.
I predict this like 2 years ago that they were going to turn the Battle.net launcher into the Activision launcher?
You may
Yes.
have.
I prefer you call it Black Division.
Black Division, whatever.
Blizzard Activision.
Right.
I mean, it was bloody obvious, but I'm pretty sure
yeah.
I called it.
And so you despise Fortnite with a blinding passion,
I
like
don't
a
despise
reasonable
it.
human.
I just don't care for
So
it.
I guess
I
my
feel
pretty much. I started playing it. I'm like, I could potentially get into this, but it would take a lot of time for me to get a hang of the game, and then a lot of time to get good at the game.
And during that
don't
bit,
care to do that
I
right
won't
now.
enjoy it at all.
Yeah, I was just like,
I kind of put
Don't
Battle
care.
Royale in the same bucket as the League of Legends and the StarCrafts and that sort of stuff. It's like, do I really want to invest 40, 50 an hour of my time
each game.
only to lose because of some stupid mistake?
The difference here is that those games are actually good games.
I was going to do the flip
So
side.
much
Hey, can you imagine if matches only went for 5 minutes, but you have to literally train hundreds of hours for them?
That would be better though.
No,
Would it
because
though?
it really isn't.
hang on, you mean 100 or so hours just because you're talking about Pokemon, aren't you?
I'm talking about fighting games.
Oh, right.
Like, you can train for hours, and your one dumb mistake literally
Like a split-second mistake kind of thing.
just
Yeah, but that's the thing. I guess the point is a split-second mistake can happen in any game, right?
see.
If it,
So-
you look
like-
at
So in League of Legends, for example, using that as that's what we're talking about, you can make a couple of mistakes and still recover. Sure, it can snowball out of like control, but it's still recoverable. Whereas
my point is, one big mistake can really cost a game.
Yes.
but that's like any game. Like
That's
I
what
feel
I said. That's what I said. Any game.
My preference is actually I think I still actually prefer the fighting game approach, because at least in games with a short runtime, you can iterate more quickly on your practicing and see improvement more quickly, theoretically.
We're going to dive right into neural networks, aren't we?
But
So-
but it's sort of like but in League of Legends, let's say that you want to start playing a new character. So you queue up a normal game and you get dumpstered in the first 5 minutes, and now you have to play out the rest of that game before you can start practicing again.
yeah, I guess. But that's the
It's-
reason
it's-
why I
it's
just play like random.
Yeah, you're
where
like-
I don't care who I play.
Yeah,
or
I should
how
probably
well
get-
I
I
play.
should probably get back to
and
that.
just like, I'm just in it for a little bit of fun. If it doesn't matter, like there's
ARDM.
no consequences to it.
And that's why I keep playing Team Fortress, right? It's because I can just be like, I'm just playing for the fun
Whatever
of it.
happens, happens.
I can leave this game and not get a 24-hour ban.
Or put in low
I looked
priority.
right at Carl for all the non-visual people.
I've got no comeback to that. It's a bullshit restriction that they still haven't found a way to design around.
Is it better or worse than low priority? Be honest. Do you know about low priority?
I'm imagining
Prob-
if you leave enough, you get lower priority.
Okay, if you
in-
leave, you get like the amount of games you leave is the number of games you have to play with other people who
Who also leave.
flame and leave and do
Right.
other things, and
Before
so
you
you
get
get
back up
stuck
to-
in this
Rut.
into
like-
this pit of shit.
like
Pit of despair.
MOBAs communities are awful, and these is like the fine wine of the shit. This fine prison wine.
All right.
The
Okay,
length
we're
of
getting
both.
off. We're getting off topic.
Let's not go. We've been rambling too much. The only other thing for me this week was I actually finally went back to Arkham Knight, which I hadn't picked up for a year and a half, and I finished it. I had like a mission left apparently.
Oh,
I
lol.
just went,
So you put it
hop,
down at the wrong time.
finish, hop off. The end.
Can we
So
t-
that's it.
Has it been long enough that I can spoil Arkham Knight for people listening?
I feel like dude,
How
that's
many
like
years has it
5
been?
Come
years,
out?
maybe not
Yeah,
not that long,
Like
but
3,
several
maybe.
years.
So, how do you feel about the interpretation of Jason Todd?
I liked it. So Arkham Knight was Jason Todd. So
The Red Hood.
talking to the wrong people.
Yeah.
I actually preferred. I think I preferred the Arkham Knight to the Red Hood. I
Interesting.
suppose. Like it was just like maybe it's a different perspective rather than a preference. It was
Yeah,
just
no, I
really different.
like.
But
I myself haven't played it, but I've consumed it via third party, and I'm like,
Yes.
yeah,
Noob question: are all the Arkham noun games in a series? Or
Yes.
are they just individual?
Nope, all in progression.
Okay.
So starting with Arkham
Arkham
Asylum,
Yeah,
up
Arkham
to
noun. That's what I
Arkham-
called them earlier.
Arkham Asylum up to Arkham Knight. I think there's 4 of them. I don't think there's any intent of any further Arkhams, but who knows?
yeah, they did let someone else take the reins for a few of them, and was like, not happening.
We're done now.
And which one had the god awful PC release?
That's Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight. Okay.
Yeah. So it was like Asylum, City, Origins, or something like that, and then Knight.
Yeah, Origins is one that nobody liked.
I didn't mind it.
They're all open world exploration mission-y games, right?
Yes, correct. But best battle
Are they
combat
all
system.
Ubisoft games?
No.
No, they're Warner
They're
Brothers.
Warner
Oh,
Brothers.
Warner Brothers. Okay.
Yeah, so
Best combat system that I've
basically
used.
they set the gold standard for city exploration combat systems,
Yeah.
and then now everyone just mimics that, like
Hence
Assassin's
why-
Creed.
And hence why Shadow of Mordor so goddamn fantastic. It took that and then just built better.
It's like,
around it.
and then now we're gonna play this in Lord of the Rings.
I actually bought Shadow of War, by the way.
Nice.
I haven't played it yet, but I bought it.
Good. Anywho, we have rambled too much about us. Time to get into the swing of things.
But it's all about us. This
It
is
is
our
all-
podcast.
Is it though?
We can do whatever
Is
we
it
want.
about us? Okay, it is about us.
Okay,
But
we're gonna get
what
on
we
with
are
it
going to
anyway.
talk about the first point being a set of leaks. I believe someone mentioned this. I have no idea what it is, so I'm going to throw over to
Have
one
you
of
heard
guys.
of the company called Walmart?
Why? Okay, I remember someone mentioning this, and I was just like, why is Walmart like
The bad guy in this?
the thing?
Gaming pre-orders. So
Aren't
what?
they just like a
Well, it's like
Mega
Kmart.
Mart
It's basically
store?
so imagine it's Kmart, and Kmart sells games.
They
Now
do sell
imagine
games.
that Kmart has an inventory of upcoming games on their website,
Mm.
and now imagine if such said inventory was actually accidentally flipped to show to everybody. All right, so they've built all the stuff in their beautiful content management system, and they've said this game with this is what's going to come out soon. We haven't quite clicked launch on it yet because it hasn't come out, it hasn't been announced.
And a bunch of them still had like placeholder.
placeholder images.
Pretty
and
much
stuff.
all of
pictures
them
and
had
everything.
placeholder images.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you just got a ton of titles that were just like, this
Yeah.
thing is coming.
So I think it was actually Walmart Canada.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good old Canada.
I bet they're sorry about it.
So can we have a list of games?
All right. So just a quick overview. The Division 2.
Wait, so context, because we kind of went about this in a roundabout way. Walmart Canada leaked
Accidentally leaked a
a
bunch,
bunch of new games.
We're
New
not-
upcoming, unreleased, unannounced games.
So we're not sure.
Well, hold up. So the time period is like the latter half of this year, beginning of next year.
Post
Q-
E3
Q1,
confirmation.
Q2 of 2019 financial year.
Wow, they are already like setting up their content for games 6 months away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you expect it to be any sooner?
Because you don't know.
You've never worked with the CMS.
They're
They're god awful.
Why would you line
Well-
something up 6 months in advance?
Because
Once-
everything's got to be just right.
Once again, you can
Tested,
see
you know?
why they did it because there was a glitch and it showed everyone this content.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I wouldn't do it in production, but
This is why you have staging environments, people. But now we're talking.
Anywho,
Get back to games.
all right. So, Gears of War 5,
What?
a new Splinter Cell game.
You also mentioned the Division before. We
The
had a-
Division 2, Rage 2, which no one
saw
asked
that. No one
for.
saw that coming, but it's apparently happening.
Let me get my Squintivision on.
I think before we sort of continue, I think we should mention that some of these may just be placeholders. There may be, dev stuff that people are just going, "Hey, it'd be great if there was a Rage 2." Da, 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 da.
No, that actually got announced a few days later.
Oh, did-
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
seriously.
Well, I know, but the point is, until there
These
are
are
official announcements, unconfirmed. Most of them are unconfirmed. Some of them do get announced, but some of them are unconfirmed.
So, Lego DC Villains,
Ooh, I like the sound of
Borderlands
that.
3,
Sorry, what? Say that again.
Borderlands 3.
Tres.
2K can actually
You-
count to 3, unlike that.
You have my attention.
Oh yes, and hang on, let
Would
me
you be
like
upset
zoom
if I
out.
told you I've never played a Borderlands.
No, it's
yeah.
fine. Just Cause 4.
I mean, they're not amazing, but they're fun.
Hey, Carl.
Co-op. They're good for co-op.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest 2.
Wait, what? Doesn't make any sense.
And an ass Creed game, but we all knew that was coming.
It's an annual thing now, isn't it?
No, they've
They took
sworn
a- they
off
took a
doing it
year off.
annually.
They took a year off.
They do it every
2 years.
14 months instead.
No, yeah. Call of Duty's the annual game.
All right.
Apart from all the sporting annuals. of
So,
course.
That's true.
that I missed out on the Switch
Sporting
games,
annuals
but
make
they're all
sense.
actually confirmed.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean, games.
Games.
Video games.
How's that for riveting commentary? No, I mean, I just thought it was interesting that, like in the age of 2018, current year argument,
20 XDX.
yeah, I guess it kind of shows you that a lot of places, a lot of companies do actually get like forewarning of this stuff before it's announced.
There's a couple of like Rage 2 nobody saw coming.
No one wanted to see coming.
I'm kind of surprised that they're gonna do another Gears of War and Borderlands game.
Nah, I feel like those are the sorts of franchises that can just keep going because of the franchise name, right?
Was there any new IP or was it just all sequels?
Pretty much all sequels, unless it's from Nintendo's house, which was all sequels as well.
Hey, were there more games in there?
Yeah, but I only found a really low res image, which is why I'm sitting here with the phone like.
I just thought it was because you're blind.
Is that a...
Hang on a second. Let me see if I can find a better image.
Sorry. I guess the one that I'm excited for is Borderlands 3. I mean, I really should go back and finish Borderlands 2, but I found it was very much a grind fest. I'm sort of, hoping that it's a little bit more or less of a grind fest.
Honestly, I've played every Borderlands game, and I haven't finished a single one.
I finished one multiple times, but I felt like one kind of had less content. Like I felt playing one that there should have been more content, if that makes sense. And I felt like it. Yeah, I felt like it should have had more content, right? And then Borderlands 2 had too much content. So I'm hoping that Borderlands 3 is a happy medium, but I don't think it will be.
So what I'm curious about now, though, is this leak a big deal in the sense of, from the publisher's perspective, will it make a difference to them? Will they be
they will kick up a fuss and probably, there'll be like angry words and people will shake fists. But other than that, not really. They're still going to get their announcement. It's just not going to be like,
a surprise.
Surprise. It's going to be, that's what Walmart leaked.
I think you I think you underestimate the amount that publishers care about being able to 100% control the narrative about a game.
They do like their white lies. I mean, there's a lot of instances of companies like publishers and stuff like outright just saying, we have no plans for this, we have no plans for that, and then in the next week or two being like, surprise.
Yeah.
And whether or not that's a good thing or not, I don't know. But it means that you basically can't trust anything they say.
Exactly. It's not a good thing. It breaks down the communication between the fan base and the publishers. It's if you can't trust what they say on any subject, then then what they're saying has very little value.
So where I'm coming from here, just in terms of that point, there is, if we're talking about a game that's already released and people are invested in it, and there's like upcoming updates, I get that. I get that need for communication and transparency and understanding of what's going on. But for new games that are going to be released, I'm just like,
but the thing is, okay,
does it matter?
The lying kind of transcends just the launch date, though, right? So you've got. I mean, even to this day, like doctored footage being shown at like big E3 conventions and stuff, and like photoshopped and rendered scenes which are impossible in engine. And
okay, hold on, whoa, time out. 100% of demos, whether they be like video demos or hardware demos or any sort of demo at a trade show, is bullshit.
Yeah.
And should be treated as such. That includes E3.
Demos are lies.
My point was more that I never really trusted what publishers have to say, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, sure, they'll announce the game, but any speculation leading up to that, whatever they say before the point, I don't trust it, right? Because they can always change their mind. They might not be lying, right? Half the time they might, not be lying, and then the PR rep that actually does the speaking is like, we don't have anything because that person doesn't know, right? But it kind of just looks like they're just lying,
Yeah.
That's what it comes off as to me.
So but okay. So from what I understand, I feel like you're not the only one in that situation. Most people have developed a general distrust of publishers to this point. So where I'm coming from there is to say, even with this leak, people are just going to be like, will it come out?
Yeah. Now that said, I also do kind of feel for the publishers' marketing departments. If we just can assume for a second that they're not acting in bad faith and that they actually are going, and in this magical universe where they're not acting in bad faith, they're crafting like a plan for how they're going to announce the game, how they're going to market it in the lead up to its release. So the time when they announce it is going to be something that they've planned for. You know what I mean? It's going to be something that they're planning like a bunch of their strategies around. When a leak like this happens, a lot of that planning goes out the window. Like I would bet money that they didn't intend to announce Rage 2 as early as they have.
On the flip side, Bethesda has Bethesda.
Bethesda.
That gets me every time. Has taken the Rage 2 leak in its stride. It's been majestic. They've launched like viral campaigns around it type stuff.
I feel like there's a few ways that they like game companies could approach it, right? They could effectively ignore the leak and just go on with their pre-scheduled plan, and not much will change. Like I said, the attitude would be from surprise to that's what Walmart actually leaked 2 weeks ago or something, right? Then there's the viral marketing. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, we are working on Rage. While this news is hot, let's get out as much info as possible about the game.
They're just sort of like, oh crap, that leaked. Roll with it.
Yeah.
Basically the first thing in response to the leak from Bethesda was, hey, you got our placeholder art wrong. It should look like this.
Yeah. And that's the thing, and that's funny and makes people share it, and then more people hear about Rage 2.
Speaking of, what's Rage?
Rage.
I can tell you definitively that it's the game that Jesse Pinkman's playing in Breaking Bad.
It was like a garbage shooting / car wasteland. Think a bad Mad Max game.
Okay.
Coincidentally, the new Rage is being made by the same studio who made
Mad Max.
Oh yeah.
Mad Max the video game.
Yeah, the good
Wasn't
one.
that good though?
It was a thing.
It was adequate.
It was a
Yes.
It was a game,
That is all.
and it was playable.
Okay.
Certainly more than I could say about other video games.
How far standards have fallen.
Yeah, I mean,
If
I
it
put up
loads,
with you
if I
Did
guys.
the
Play
game
it.
ship with an executable? Yes. Congratulations. Welcome to Steam. I mean, sorry, are we having a conversation?
I think that's a good segue as any. So unless there's more we want to talk about.
Speaking of leaks, there's the next topic leaking straight out of Ryan's brain. On the mic.
Okay.
So yeah, no, absolutely. What is our next topic?
So
is...
our next topic is Valve.
Yes.
Specifically, they accidentally leaked or / put up a new website and then quickly took it down, but not before people got screenshots and stuff.
Quickly, how quick is quickly?
Within
2 hours?
Within 2 hours at least, probably.
About that, yeah, 2 hours.
Valve News Network is a channel on YouTube. You should check them out. Really good for this sort of stuff. But they did a pretty extensive video on it. But he did the video as if the website was still live, and it was down by the time he'd posted it.
Okay.
Right. So like even in his description is like, yeah, sorry, the website went down by the time this was uploaded.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the person... Okay, so let me get this right. The person doing Valve News Network isn't actually part of Valve.
No.
Okay.
It's a third-party pundit sort of thing.
Right.
Anyway, the important thing is it was both a rebranding as well as kind of... Yeah, actually, let's just go with rebranding. I think that's probably a good description of it.
So it sort of like has semi-rebranding.
Well,
right?
new logo.
Yes.
Right? So like still with like Valve with the little E, but with red as opposed to just black and white.
Yep.
Wasn't red their old logo back in the 90s?
Who knows?
For like...
Ooh.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm pretty sure it was for Half-Life.
Maybe it's harking back then.
Gonna
I don't
look
know.
it up as you guys are talking. Keep going.
Okay. Yep.
What else was there? There was a lot of info about like teasing, I guess, the stuff that they're working on. So obviously like all the VR stuff. They talked about the two games. Yeah, they talked about the two games that they've announced, which is Artifact and the other one, which is the company that they bought. I can't remember what it's called. Is it Land of the Gods, Valley of the Gods, Valley of the Gods, yeah.
something like that.
And
that's by the developers of Firewatch, who I don't think they bought. Did they buy that? They essentially bought them. They basically moved into Valve as a team.
Absorbed, if you will.
Yeah.
Consumed.
Yeah.
And then they said
When
something
two
like...
become one. Except one's the dominant. Nope, moving on.
Yeah. There was a huge section about the people that work for Valve, and for the first time, we saw a breakdown of what all their jobs are, like game design and art and a bunch of other things, programming. They talked about their 3 flagship titles, which are CSGO, Dota 2 and TF2, which is surprising to a lot of TF2 people who thought TF2 was kind of just the
Side project.
afterthought.
afterthought.
I feel like it's stopped being an afterthought for a while now.
Well, I think they've kind of stepped up their game recently.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talk, like I said, a lot of talk about the future. And
Do you think perhaps they maybe have started to take it a bit more seriously after a bunch of their experiments that they were kind of hoping would take off didn't?
yeah, I think they're starting to really take it seriously. I think what happened, right? Overwatch came out.
Yeah.
That scared them, and they rushed their competitive update, which was already in the works.
Yeah.
Right. So it was broken. It came out broken, and it just completely like wrecked
things,
wrecked stuff, wrecked the community's
Faith.
Thank you. But yeah, I think they've definitely proven themselves, I guess, with the last few updates.
Reproven, redeemed.
Redeemed is the word you'd be looking
You
for.
guys,
Thank
like,
you.
Who needs a thesaurus, right?
Maybe you should actually learn English sometime,
Yeah,
right?
maybe.
Overrated.
I think, like I said, I think the new website was definitely more of a corporate rebranding, or back to old roots branding or something. But
Speaking of the logo, I think the red that you're thinking is the actual red valve in the back of the dude's head.
Possibly.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
They hinted that they're doing a lot of new games. They said that they've made like 50 new IPs that changed the world, and one that didn't, and the one that didn't was Ricochet. It's a game that they made.
Hey, that game is amazing.
It's a great game, but it didn't change the world.
Oh yeah, no one knows what Ricochet is anymore.
You said Ricochet, I was just like,
It's okay. No, derailing. It's the Tron disc game in the Half-Life engine.
Sick.
okay.
It's really good.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
I should really play
sick. All right, go on.
it.
What was the last
Moving,
day?
So, I mean,
moving right along.
I mean that's all I can remember off the top of my head from VNN's coverage. I couldn't find any other sources on this. That's probably the other weird thing. Like there was
no one else probably saw it.
it went down pretty darn quickly.
Okay, all right.
But 2 hours. I feel like again coming back to the whole leaks thing. Like, how?
I think it's literally like someone just went prod. Oh, okay. Let's undo that.
All right, so let's recap. The site was up for 2 hours. The fact that it was give or take. The fact that it was taken down so quickly means that this is probably not something that they were ready to share with the wider public yet.
And quick segue. Another thing that was shown was every Steam controller prototype, as well as unreleased Steam controllers, like finished Steam controllers that haven't been released or may not be released.
Now, the other thing that I noticed from this breakdown was also that the language appears to be a bit more corporate than I'm used to hearing from Valve.
Yeah, it was very much selling themselves as a company, which, I mean, that's what a company website's supposed to do, right?
Yes.
So was their previous website like that?
I'm going to be honest. I don't think I've actually
seen
It
that.
it hasn't changed much in 10 years, which is why I kind of get the idea that this is a bit of a sort of refresh, a rebranding.
sweep away the cobwebs a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. It's like, oh, what's in this room? Those, yeah.
So
It's like, oh god, Half-Life 1 assets.
Well,
has Valve released an official statement?
No, I don't think they have released an official statement. I think it just went up, came down, and the only person that saw it was VNN.
Who probably has a
And Ryan.
Google alert for.
Ryan was on that shit.
I actually double checked.
Instantly.
The date that this video came out and made sure it wasn't April 1st. But yeah, it definitely wasn't. It only came out a week ago. So
Okay, thank God. For one horrible second, I was just being sort of like, oh god, have we
been bamboozled?
We're well past
well, at
April
least
1st.
I don't think so, and I do trust VNN on this sort of stuff. So yeah,
So you're not saying Valve is fake news?
I'm not saying Valve is fake news.
Valve News Network is fake news.
Anyway,
All right,
So
wild speculation time. Let's go.
Before you do get into your wild speculation, this leak I see having a big impact. Whereas the Walmart one, I was just like, this one from a corporate sense, because it's a company site. It's not a game. It's not one thing that they're doing. This is a whole rebrand. It's a whole new look and feel.
Yep.
It's them trying to go potentially in a different direction, and it getting out before they're even ready to actually handle that. That I can see being damaging potentially even.
I think the dusting of the cobwebs is a good analogy, right? I think it's a cleanup act, trying to position themselves looking good, right?
Yeah.
Trying to, whatever. The reasons for that, though, and this is where we get into speculation, right?
Yep.
The reasons for that, though, is kind of weird because I don't think Valve's publicly traded, right? So it's a
Private.
private entity. Or
I will
whatever.
check
It's
that.
venture funding.
Owned by Gabe.
Owned by Gabe, right?
Yeah, it's not
So-
publicly.
So it could just be a rebranding, right? It could just be, hey, we're just fixing the site
Cleaning up.
because we haven't done it in 10 years.
And it could be, Valve have been in the past, like pretty cagey about their experiments and just dropping hints here and there and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and
So it could just be like this is like how they're going to announce the things that they're announce without announcing the things that they're working on. You know?
And there have been, especially like at least in the TF2 space, like that I've been sort of exposed to, they've tried to be more and more open. Whereas previously they were sort of very like the only sort of info we'd get were like from patch notes, right? But
Well,
now we'll actually get community members in talking to developers and that sort of stuff.
Well, you pretty much in the old days, you'd pretty much just get like an info dump in the days leading up to a patch. The patch notes would come out with a bunch of weapon adjustments that nobody really saw coming.
Yeah.
Or you log in and be like, "What? There's a patch? Oh no!"
Yeah, pretty much. So I
no,
kind
they're
of
not publicly traded, by the way.
no, they're not publicly
They're not?
traded.
Okay.
So, again, it could just be a cleanup and an attempt to be more open and forthcoming with some of their information, or it could be that they're looking to sell go publicly traded.
That is some wild speculation.
That is some wild speculation. And I realize that I'm saying speculation a lot, but I want to drive that home.
Can you say the word speculation in another way? Do we have like a synonym?
I don't know. You're the thesaurus.
I'll get back to you. Hypothesis. Boom. Suck my dick.
Nailed it. In your face. Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. So
The reason why I say that
a website rebrand doesn't have to mean that they're looking to sell part of themselves.
No.
It could just be because they want.
Sorry, I
on
was
the
translating that analogy.
On the street.
Yeah, it's like when you get a new shirt. It's not necessarily make you a hooker or anything. Carl.
Get out.
Selling your body. Completely lost my train
I
of
just
thought now.
rebranded myself. It's okay.
But yeah, it just seemed a bit.
Oh,
odd
yeah,
With
yeah.
everything else that's going on at Valve.
Well, what else is going on at Valve?
Well, see, that's the thing. They're working a lot on hardware,
Yes.
right? Which we know. There was one of the images that was shared showed Valve using a, I guess, dev version of a headset, which seemed a bit odd.
Several different dev versions.
Several
right?
different versions of headsets, most of which looked like they were pre-production. So maybe there's more hardware coming.
like circuit boards and stuff
Yep.
sticking out everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, I forgot my train of thought. So, what was I saying?
I was saying that a corporate rebrand, a corporate refresh,
Yes.
doesn't necessarily mean upcoming sales or that sort of thing. It could just be that I don't know that they wanted a fresh look. They want to try and draw a line in the sand and say we're gonna move forward. We're gonna try and put the last couple of experiments that didn't work out behind us.
The other thing as well is about this time last year, or maybe even longer, I can't remember, but they did say that they were working on a refresh of the Steam UI, like complete and utter refresh.
Yep.
So that's coming. They're working on hardware. They're apparently working on games, allegedly.
Which is surprising because for the longest time, Valve has just been the Steam people.
Yeah.
So just to kind of not counter your points, but to kind of just look at it from a different perspective, but almost kind of where you're coming from, in saying that companies do often not regular, like they do a cleanup, they do a rebranding, they do a let's re-image ourselves industry and go as an example. So it's not necessarily a matter of, oh shit, they're doing something different. Like it's been 10 years, like you guys are saying, it's been a long time. And 10 years is longer than usual for a company to go, let's clean this up a little bit. Let's do something a bit
There
different.
was one little tidbit of information that I accidentally left off, which was one of the things that they also said was that they're looking at reorganizing their structure.
Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So that could just mean that they're going to go with, different departments or have like the hardware part shifted off into something else or something like that. Right.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was an interesting point because rebranding and the corporate, like the structure change.
Again, I'm not gonna read too much into it. I'm not gonna start speculating. Maybe because I'm not as invested into Valve as you guys are. But from my perspective, it really just does sound like they've gone. We've been doing this a while. We could potentially do a little bit better if we looked more professional. If we looked a little cleaner than a 10-year-old website.
On an entertaining level, it's a gauge at my company how long you've been with the company with how many different names and redesigns it's gone through. So I've seen I've seen one change from one to another.
Yeah.
And there's people at the company who's like, oh yeah, I've seen 7.
Yeah.
So the thing is, it could just be sometime
And
a
like I said,
cigar
the simplest-
is a giant brown penis, but in this case, it's probably just a cigar.
Yeah.
I was, just to your point, I was at a client for a year.
I don't want to know.
They went through 3 restructures, within the space of a year.
That's terrifying.
It is ridiculous. It is hilariously ridiculous. But yeah, so to that point, there are things there for you guys to speculate off, but at the same time, it could very well be
Wild speculation.
That's why we're saying it's wild speculation, right?
Well, to fuel the fire, they have been cleaning up some rather odd games from Steam lately as well.
In what sense?
As in anything that's remotely adult.
Pornographic games, the ones, or not even pornographic.
Pornographic
just
games
the
that they have on there in the first place.
edgy level games.
Etchy. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going with edgy.
No. Etchy's an
Oh
actual.
no, they love edgy.
Yeah, they love edgy. No,
Everyone loves edgy.
They didn't they ban hatred from Steam
a lot of
on the edgy side of things?
Yeah, but that's too far edgy. Like, pull it back a little. Give us a Shadow the Hedgehog, not Charles Manson.
Anyway,
a lot of these games that did just get banned, whatever they're called, etchy.
So if
they're
not
basically game clones that just feature anime girls.
Okay.
so this is where I explain what that word is. It's like softcore anime, like really on the edge of being called softcore.
Okay, so
like anime thighs.
If I can give an example, because when I read it, they had an example. There was basically a Bejeweled clone, but the points you scored.
It went away, it showed more girl.
No, the points you scored added.
I feel like that's the.
Yeah.
Wait,
The points you scored added pleasure points to the girl that was.
Wait, that better not. What is that really popular version of that game?
What?
It better no. There was one of those which was actually like a dating sim and a Bejeweled game, which was actually an incredible piece of design, and I can't remember the name of it for my life.
You're gonna have to look it up.
You're not talking.
Well,
about,
it's probably been banned on Steam now.
You're not talking about Honey Pop, are you?
Yes, that's the one. Thank you.
Honey Pot?
Did they take Honey Pop off?
I don't know if
Pop.
they took honey.
Okay.
It's
Honey Pop.
What do you mean? That game's dumb.
No, it's a good piece of design.
But anyway, I guess the reason why you segued this in is because it just seems a bit odd timing that
For
they
them to
leaked
start
they
cleaning
leaked a
up.
new video, a new website where they've cleaned house a bit. They've also been cleaning house in the terms of cleaning up Steam and removing some questionable material, but not any of the stupid broken Unit Z clones. And
Good.
Okay.
Honey
Various
Pop
other-
is still on Steam.
Like,
So
We're safe.
I was worried.
on your homepage, right?
I just had to look that up on a work phone, so if you need any desktop engineers, let me know.
oh dear.
Okay.
Sorry.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, nothing definitive points to it, and we are speculating.
That's fair.
And
But
the simplest.
if Valve sells, you heard it here first.
Absolutely.
We called it. We absolutely 100% said Valve are selling.
And if
No speculations. We know for a fact this is
We're
happening.
not reiterating this for a catchy YouTube title in the slightest.
and if we're wrong, then it was just speculation. speculation. Just a bit of harmless speculation.
Bit of
we
harmless
want
speculation.
100% of the credit, 0% of the blowback.
Well, that's the
And
thing,
then
right?
suddenly we all leveled up in management.
The thing is, we are not a news network. We are not presenting the facts. We are presenting our informed opinions and our informed
thought
opinions.
you
Informed.
Honestly, when you said our opinion, I was like, our inflated opinions.
yes, our inflated opinions.
I was almost buying into that when we were talking about it pre-podcast, but as I've actually been sitting here listening to us talk about it, I think I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think it's just a rebrand.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, right? Simplest solution is probably the best. Just a rebrand.
Yeah.
Right?
I thought, honestly, Valve would have a lot to gain in splintering Steam off into a publicly traded company, keeping Valve itself as a primary.
So like a Google and Alphabet sort of thing.
Yeah, so that Valve, like, let's say Gabe keeps 49% of the shares, whatever, Gabe style, and Valve has more time to focus on software and hardware, and then they have Steam, the publicly traded company, with a board of directors who can organize it and like dictate work through the company, so it's off their hands but still makes them money.
I think it's also worth noting. I think CS:GO's ongoing development has actually been handed off to a third party. Like they pay a third party just to look after it.
That's because you can't get people at Valve to work on anything.
But hey, maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the corporate restructure that they're going for, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to be like, hey, who wants to be split off into their own little sub company that's only going to work on Steam, and your whole job is to look after Steam.
Yeah.
And if no one puts their hand up, they go, okay, we just start hiring people that's going to look after Steam.
Hey.
And then
That is not a job I would want.
And then the rest of them can go back to basically being gaming R&D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Having a huge R&D.
Which is kind of what Valve wants to be, right? They
Yeah.
want to be the forefront. They don't want to have to look after old tech.
Yeah.
See, it's a good idea. I'm a businessman.
Sure.
Business stuff.
My question.
Plus, rules of acquisition number 10, right? Greed is eternal. That's a reference. No,
I
understood
I
it.
figured that was a reference. I was just like, I'm sorry.
We all
Can I
know.
help
Are
you
you
here?
trying to tell us that Gabe's undead?
No, I'm telling you that he's Ferengi.
Star
Okay.
Trek. We'll tell you when you're older.
Sure. No, anyway. My
just love
question
derailing
here is if they were actually selling, or if they were going public, what impact do you think that's going to have on Steam or on Valve as a whole?
Firstly, regular release schedules
For Steam.
for Valve content.
Right.
Because if you're publicly traded, you need to pump stuff out. You need to get
Do you
revenue.
think Valve is going to go publicly
No.
traded? Then that's what I'm saying.
With Steam, it's going to become, well, less crappy.
Let's hope doesn't become the iTunes.
I think it will. I think the point is you have to scrape out the unwanted portions. And Steam's unwanted portions, unfortunately,
Substantial.
is its entire indie area.
Yeah.
You ditch it. Fuck it. It's gone.
It's had its time and its time is over.
You want your game on Steam? Submit it to us. Our testing crew will play it for X hours and judge whether or not it can be on Steam.
And our assessment fee is $5,000.
Yeah, and our player base is huge.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Sleeker, more efficient. You want your thing on the first, front page of Steam? Pay me. Just
That's awfully
The
mercenary.
only thing I hope it doesn't become, like I said, the iTunes.
It will be.
No. Okay, iTunes, when it was music, was great. When iTunes became app
the
and
conglomerated.
syncing, the conglomerated.
Sorry,
but Steam.
When you say iTunes, I hear App Store, not
Yeah, no, that's
But
what I'm saying.
Steam is already that way.
No.
They already sell
movies.
movies and things that aren't games.
I honestly think if you're going to optimize Steam,
You'd get rid of that.
here's your key, piss off.
So,
Yeah.
like the greenlit section or
Oh,
whatever.
no,
Greenlight's already dead.
Greenlight's been dead for years now.
Pardon me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a problem.
All right.
Whatever.
Let's carry on with the fart noise in the background. So I think that if it was to be sold to someone, chances are it would go to someone that doesn't care for the up and coming.
Hence, publicly traded company.
So that's where they'll be like, yes, we have this big following. We have this big player base that loves our games and our
Can you
content.
stop talking for 1 second so I can snip this soundbite? All right, you were saying, so when we finally sell Steam, it'll be purchased by the kind of people who I like.
So if it's sort of bought by EA, for example,
Okay.
That is the day where I give up on gaming.
Okay.
I just no.
That's it.
Okay.
I will never complain
Whoa,
about Nintendo
whoa, whoa!
again.
Time out.
bought by a
need
big...
shower.
EA are not EA. Neither EA or Ubisoft are going to buy it because they already have their own platforms.
I'm kidding. I wasn't being serious
Hey,
about EA.
Nintendo, though.
Doesn't have the market capacity to buy it.
I know.
Yeah, but
Also,
Actually,
anyway,
it probably
a big-
does.
Also, they're not going to sell it. I don't think. Okay, they might be getting ready to sell, but when I said sell, I meant publicly, like
Yeah, yeah.
traded.
But I'm looking at it from two different perspectives here. So there's the publicly traded as well, and as to I just want a lot of money right now and retire.
Right.
Here you go. And if they
It's-
were to sell to someone in that
Like
fashion-
Microsoft.
Microsoft.
That is where
Oh, it
Oh.
becomes the Windows Store.
Oh my god! It becomes the Xbox store for Windows 10.
Hey, honestly, I was looking at people who have market share to buy Steam. It's pretty much Microsoft.
And maybe Apple, but Apple's not going to do it.
Why would Apple do it? They've
Apple
got their own
doesn't
shit.
care.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Literally
Apple
shit.
doesn't care.
It's excrement.
So
I can't speak anymore. I'm
to
tired.
that point, that's like your point earlier on of just pump shit out. I think was your point. That's exactly what would happen.
Cut
They'll be
shit
like,
out, not pump
no,
shit out.
But
Oh, yeah,
even
no,
the
I did say
annual-
both.
Yeah. So they'll just be like, people love this brand. Here you go. We're just gonna make money out of it.
When you have
Ubis-
shareholders.
The Activision and Ubisoft approach.
Yeah. When you have shareholders and you have them wanting you to make money, that's exactly what happens.
Exactly right.
That's why I think they're gonna like if they do it, fragment.
Yeah, so
Because-
that's what would make sense for Valve specifically to say, take this.
Steam. Well, like I said, even if they just fragment without selling, like we were saying earlier, right? I think that'd be a bold
Even
move.
within their own company.
Well, yeah, like I said, have a subsidiary that's called
and-
Steam.
Yeah.
That's one of the main reasons working at Valve was so fantastic. One day you'd wake up and be like, you know what? Fuck Dota. Hey, what's happening in the TF2 sphere? Hello?
So the reason though that Valve actually works is I think people generally are quite invested in what they
Yeah.
The reason why Valve
want to
works
do.
is because they make a shit ton of money on Steam. That is the only reason why.
And-
they
Oh,
would
that
put
it
Valve.
still works, but early days prior to Steam being
Yeah,
the
and
big
that's the
thing,
thing
that it is.
Anyway, that's
We're
Volvo in a
deep, we're
nutshell.
deep into speculation territory at this point.
No, we are not speculating. We know everything there is to know about Valve. and
Informed
how
opinions about it from our gaming experiences with Steam over the last 15 years.
We
Okay,
know.
okay, all right.
We know exactly how their company runs. We know exactly what's going to happen. Okay, no
course. Okay,
speculation
all right.
whatsoever here.
Of course.
We are well-informed individuals.
The
How are
truth,
we going
the whole
for a
truth
time?
And nothing but the truth.
I don't know.
I forgot to
imagine-
keep track.
Let's start wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Do we want a quick cover on that thing that you were talking
Oh
about?
yeah,
We
but-
can use it as a. Let's wrap up the.
Yeah.
So, in
cast.
my week going forward, I will be investigating a large number of things. Mostly being an electrical engineer and replacing the motherboard of a TV. And a new set of tech has been discovered for Super Nintendo ROMs,
Oh yeah.
which may not excite you.
But the implications is that it would be easy to adapt.
Yeah, you get someone in the ocean, and the implication says that with a Super Nintendo chip, you can now feed it CD quality audio
Interesting.
and FMVs.
Double interesting.
Oh, yeah. And now, where this matters for the common man, Benjamin, hey, Ben, guess what has a CD quality audio remaster?
SD3.
Oh, yeah.
That's like that's literally the only game you could be talking about that I don't care.
Wait. It does?
It does.
Like an official one?
No. Well, I think the tracks are official.
Right.
Yeah, so they rip it from the OST and then
Remake
following on from that, they've redone Metroid with a classic, like the symphony tracks of Metroid.
Symphony.
So it is Oh,
It just sounds good.
And Mega Man X is amazing.
Mega Man X
Is that a rock soundtrack, that one?
Yeah,
okay.
it is dope. So basically what this means is with the right set of technology, you can now feed proper audio back into ROMs. The catch is, this is currently just a piece of fun virtualization gimmicks.
Whether it makes it into real hardware or not.
The chip exists, I think, but I'm not sure on which cartridge. The trouble is the cost of losing a game just for the fact that you get
Better audio.
is a bit
Unless they can convince whoever makes it to put it back into production.
Or
release the
program an
template.
FPGA that does it.
yeah.
Okay, fair.
So it's,
So do we know which game has this FMV?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
But on the flip side, hey man, we can snippet pieces of things into other things. Like we can have JoJo cutscenes in the JoJo RPG. It's so cool.
That would be pretty sick, actually.
So yeah, that's my
Now, on that topic, though, I mean, yeah, that's the sort of innovation I want to see from it. Not just slapping a remastered soundtrack into. I mean, like that's cool.
game.
I mean, that's cool and all.
The fact that they can do that is cool,
The
but
fact that they can do that, but I don't know. Like, that's just that's not going to be like a straight upgrade on those games all the time. Like, for example, we recently got with the Secret of Mana remake, a remastered version of that soundtrack.
Yes.
I don't think it was better than the original.
No, in fact, it was garbage.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but it was
It was not better than the original.
It was
That's a fact.
so different. It was just so
different.
different. It was just yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the effect that the original soundtracks have on a lot of these games, I don't think can be overstated. Is basically where I'm going with that.
But even then, it doesn't work with Pokemon because it doesn't have the chip capacity.
Well, there's no Pokemon on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, that's what but I'm just going to use that as an example because it's something that works. Can you imagine playing Pokemon Red with the Sydney Symphony Orchestra doing the soundtrack?
That would be pretty sick. I'd like that.
So I think where I'm not too fussed about that is games like this, for me, the original quality of the sound is part of the game, if that makes sense. If I'm thinking back to any of the Chrono games that I've played, if I'm thinking back to SC3, if I'm thinking back to Tales of Fantasia or anything like that, it's almost like a nostalgic feel of where it's this almost old grainy kind of a noise to it, or sound to it, with this old.
Which also
Ben,
explains
I kind of put this
style
in the
game.
same bucket as the people that like modding and ROM hacking, right? Just any games in general, not just like ROMs. But if you're not sort of into that sort of scene, right, then it's not for you.
Probably not
right?
for you.
But
Yeah.
like if you're the sort of person that goes, hey, I like this game, but gee, I wish I could, I don't know, fix this, or hey, play it in English, which is a very common thing. I can see that this would be a good option for people.
Yeah,
right?
no, I absolutely get it.
Okay, at the moment, right, we joke about Pokemon Red earlier, right, that I was actually, I am playing Pokemon Red again. But the only reason I am is because I found a cool mod which replaces the graphics, right? It changes all the sprites which look ugly and blocky into the Gen 2 sprites, which actually look half decent.
Like a nice sort of set of them.
Yeah. And so, like, that's how people want to re-experience games. Well, some people anyway. They want to go back. And sure, there is the nostalgia factor, but they also want to give it a new twist, a new flavor.
I get that. I absolutely get that.
And
And the point that I was going to make on top of that as well is you were saying that that's how, like when you talked about someone cutting in a cutscene into the game or whatever, and that's what you want to see out of this technology, like people actually using it in a very different manner. I can absolutely see people doing that. There's going to be people that go,
Hey,
this is a cool thing that I can do. Let me splice up this old game that
I think it'd also
used to
be
play."
useful. I think it'd also be useful to see homebrew games, new games that utilize this new technology. Yeah.
or cutting in images of DBZ into the DBZ fighting game when they do their supers.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly right. So, and that's bound to happen. I would be surprised if this technology took off and people just didn't do that. That doesn't make any sense to me. There's
honestly,
bound to be people.
This is one of the delightful things in this field. It's dead technology. The fact we're innovating dead technology is a legitimate and huge waste of time. But it's fun.
But it's fun. People are doing it for the hell of it. Yeah.
So
It's like all those You know what? Actually, it reminds me of the demo scene of the 80s, right? Of like people building literally just demos just to show off what they could do with the system, right?
Yeah.
The Commodore 64, like the Atari consoles, you know, all those computers all have, you know, just, I guess they're just called demos, right?
Yeah.
And they just show off like weird graphics things, and they do things like you look into like, you know, that they're switching like graphics modes like every frame to get like some weird effect to happen, and yeah, and that's where I kind of put this. I kind of put this in the bucket of people trying to do cool
Weird
new
and funky
things
things.
just because they can.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, I think we are at a sweet spot. Is there anything anybody wants to recommend to our lovely audience listening and watching? Anything worthwhile for them to get into?
So I'm playing another shmup that's also a roguelike because I have a niche and I live it.
Because of course you are.
It's got the dumbest name I've experienced so far of one of these games. It's called Wizards of Legends.
Oh, I have seen you playing that. I was like,
Yeah, Ben's actually on STEM? What
no,
is it?
That's the thing. I was like, Wizards of Legends. That just sounds like everything. Like it's like Wizards of the Coast. It's League of Legends. It's
Anyway, so the easiest way to describe it at the moment is Enter the Gungeon meets Avatar. The Last Airbender.
I was like, clarify, please. The good Avatar.
Yes.
I mean, good.
They are
I
both
mean,
good.
if you
My
like-
preferred Avatar.
If you like sticking your dick in blue things, go for it. I got a DC movie for you.
Smurfs.
Watchmen.
Watch Smurfs. Whoa, no, wait, too deep. Pull out.
Okay. Anything from any of you guys?
Let's just wrap this up.
Watch Deadpool 2 then.
unless
Oh
you've got
yes,
something.
watch Deadpool 2. I will be watching it this weekend, hopefully.
Yeah, I don't really have much. to be
All good.
honest. Like,
All right.
all my regulars, you know.
Yeah.
Like play old
Play
games.
play Age of Mythology.
No, just play old games in general. Try something you haven't tried.
Buy new
before,
clothes
like,
and sell yourself on the street
On the
corner.
streets. Don't rebrand yourself. Sell yourself.
Don't sell yourself off.
Okay. Those of you still listening / watching, thank you for sticking through this far. Once again, please check out some of our other content on YouTube. You're welcome to follow us on iTunes or SoundCloud. Once again, please jump onto our Discord. Let us know your thoughts and feels. Jump in on our shit posting and our general
Chats.
crazy conversation. We have a D&D channel. If you're keen on that, jump in on that. Yeah. Thanks once again, and we'll leave it there. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.
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 See, I can't wait until Ryan's ass is publicly traded. Childbearing hips.
How many shares is that?
Huh.